Welcome back to Outdoor Camera Tech. If you're in the market for an action camera, or even if you already own the Action 6, then stick around. Because today we're showcasing the 5 things that set the Action 6 apart from not just the GoPro, but all other action cameras in the space. So sit back and relax as we take you through these game-changing features. So let's start with my favourite, the DJI wireless mic setup. The onboard mics on most sports cameras these days offer excellent audio recording. But once you get into the outdoors, things can get a bit challenging, especially when it comes to the wind. This is where the DJI wireless mic system is a game changer. The Osmo Action 6 pairs directly with, in this case, the DJI Mic Mini. Once paired, it's as simple as just turning on the camera and the microphone. From there, your audio and video is recorded in the same file, and you even have the option of recording in mono or in stereo with the 2 lapel mics. So here we are, back up the hill. As you can see, the wind's coming in quite strong, starting to rain, and the weather station just up behind me is clocking well over 100 k's an hour with wind gusts. This is the kind of situation where I wouldn't really be able to get any usable audio without a lapel mic. So I've got the DJI Mic Mini just inside my jacket there. Hard to stand up at the moment. But the point is that the camera is still fully weatherproof. That rain can come in as hard as it likes. I haven't got anything plugged into it, didn't need any external kits or anything like that. And all I need to do is just turn the camera on, just leave the mic on, just connects automatically. The mic's got heaps of battery life, so I can just leave that going as I walk around and just turn the camera on and shoot as I like. Easy. And just for comparison, I'm going to try and get some audio on this phone just to show you just how windy it is and how hopeless that would be. So as you can see, this is a seamless, reliable and weatherproof setup, which is essential in conditions like this. Moving right along to the square sensor. These days people might want to shoot in either portrait or landscape, depending on what platform they want to upload to. On most cameras that setting is either or. But with the Osmo Action 6 you have the option of setting this to custom, or 1:1, basically giving you a square. This gives you the option to take both a landscape and a portrait clip from the same piece of footage. Let's see how that looks in this example. This is the shot without any editing. It's basically a 4K square. So with 3840 pixels, we've got plenty of space there for editing. For the landscape shot, all I've done is zoomed in twice, giving us 1920 pixels across the top, which is perfect for this 1080p project. And this is what the portrait scene looks like. Obviously we would have our project set up for portrait if we were going to use this. And with Horizon Steady on, you don't even need to worry about which way you're holding the camera. So straight out of the gate, you're at an advantage with the Osmo Action 6. 50 gigs of internal storage. Which means you don't have to be opening up your camera in conditions like this to change SD cards. We've all been there before, turning on your camera to realise you didn't put the storage card back in, or running out of storage at that crucial moment and having to quickly decide which files you're going to delete so you can film that scene that's slowly disappearing in front of your eyes. The 50 gigs of internal storage on the Osmo translates to 3 hours and 7 minutes at 1080 HD recording, or 2 hours and 3 minutes at 4K. That's a pretty good backup that could be a lifesaver. And with the price of memory these days, that's a big value add. Next up, battery life. When comparing the battery life of the GoPro Hero 13 and the DJI Osmo Action 6, the results lean heavily in favour of the DJI, largely due to the internal efficiency rather than just the battery size. Both cameras use batteries with nearly identical capacities, 1950 mAh for the DJI versus 1900 mAh for the GoPro. But their real-world endurance varies significantly. The advertised runtime for these cameras is 240 minutes for the Osmo versus 150 minutes for the GoPro, with these differences being even more exaggerated in colder temperatures. The Osmo Action 6 uses a more modern, energy-efficient processor. This is why it lasts nearly twice as long as the GoPro in many scenarios, which is a real advantage in conditions like this. You don't want to be opening up your camera to change batteries. GoPro's older chip architecture consumes more power and generates more heat, which can lead to thermal shutdowns before the battery actually runs out. This means the Osmo has a significantly longer battery life than virtually all other action cameras on the market. Well, I know I said the DJI mic setup was my favourite, but having a camera that can go to 20 metres without needing a case is also pretty awesome. The GoPro is waterproof without a case down to 10 metres, but for most freedivers that's right on the line. You might not be diving to 10 metres on every dive, but having that 10 metre limit in the back of your mind with regards to ruining an expensive action camera is going to be an ongoing concern, especially if you're out there diving with scuba gear. Now, of course, you can put any action camera in an underwater housing, but something I've been finding very useful is having access to the screen. I filmed this little ras at 120 frames per second, so I can slow them down post-production for this nice buttery smooth scene. But I don't really want to film the whole dive at such a high frame rate. Files shot in 4K at 120 frames per second at a high bit rate are going to be a challenge for any computer to handle in post-production. So unless you're running a high-end editing machine, that means creating proxy media, and that can add hours to your post-production time as well as taking up valuable disk space. So not needing to put your camera in a housing so you've got access to all of these perimeters underwater can be really useful, especially if you're diving at around that 10 metre mark, where the amount of light could be affecting your footage, and you need access to settings that are only available through the touchscreen. And yes, the touchscreen does work with dive gloves on. Well, that pretty much wraps up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content and I hope you got some value out of it. Buying a high-end action camera for most people is a big investment these days, so I'm glad I could share the 5 things that would have swung me in the direction of getting an Action 6 over a GoPro or any other action camera for that matter. And let us know in the comments if you think the Action 6 would better suit most people, or if you think the GoPro still has plenty to offer. So I'll see you all in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.